Are you ready to launch your business, but you don't know where to begin? Join the Iberio Business Center online program, which serves the Finger Lakes in Rochester, New York. The business course is offered in both English and in Spanish. Take advantage of the different speakers and their expertise throughout this course. The online program includes a pitch competition, which will assist you with funding for your business. For more information, visit iberio.org or call 716-418-4782.
What's up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What is up? This is your boy, Dan the Dark Knight, and I'm out here with your peoples
Knuckles, what's popping?
and your boy.
David, what's going on?
And this is episode 4, right?
Yeah,
Episode 4.
This number 4.
Number 4, Pop the Bubble presents the real, y'all boys and girls. How y'all feeling today?
I'm feeling blessed. I'm not gonna lie. Woke
Okay,
up
blessed.
just feeling blessed about life. Just waking up just to see another day. That's it.
Some niggas don't see other days.
Oh
Am I
man.
correct?
Same stuff, different toilet.
Not saying something.
Yeah, it's the world's spinning, I'm spinning, we're spinning, and we're constantly moving. So rather, move forward, but
So like,
I have my days where I feel like I'm just stagnant. I'm not doing nothing but silver lining, still moving.
gotcha. Like Lauryn Hill said, nothing even matters.
It doesn't. That's
I'm
all.
having a good
Yeah,
day.
how's you? How's you?
We apologize for being late today. We 9 minutes late. I tend to be a very punctual person, so I don't mean to be that guy.
Definitely does.
So I apologize in advance to anybody that was waiting at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, if you
Like,
want to give him
dang,
crap,
where these boys at? They
Leave-
supposed to be on.
leave your comments in the section and let them know what's up.
Yeah, you got the right to gum me down today.
Yep.
I'm okay with that. I am okay with that.
Let me make the first comment.
I'll make the first
I was,
comment.
already, I was already in the midst of doing it.
Hey,
That's
And another thing.
that's cold blooded. I thought we was brothers. I guess we ain't.
Are we still brothers? We just
that's
keeping it
what
real
brothers
with
do.
you.
That's what the love
That's
was.
definitely what brothers do.
That the love was there, and guess what? Obviously,
If I ain't
it
messing with you, I don't love you.
is
That's a
not.
fact.
Well, since we're kind of late, we're just gonna jump right into it. Today, we are going to talk about a touchy subject. Only touchy to us because we're guys. Might not really be touchy. Might just be informative. Here at the Real, our focus is to pull you in and open your mind a little bit. Right, pop the bubble on you. Today we are going to talk about masculinity and what that means.
Talk to him.
You know what I mean?
Part 2.
Yeah. part
Right,
two,
because
yeah. The intro was last
The intro
week.
was last week. We really didn't get to talk about it, but I did say that we were going to say something about it today. So, first thing first, I'm going to pass it to my boy Dave, and I'm going to ask him, Dave, what do you feel masculinity? What does masculinity mean to you?
Masculinity means to me is this. Like how you present yourself really is just like, I guess I don't want to say prideful of anything, but like some men do pride themselves about just being a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
but like, is that really you? Like, are you really prideful? Like, do you really care about a certain amount of things? Like, that's just it for me. Like, it's just the reality of it. Like, are you really what you saying that you are? That's just all.
All right. Johnny boy.
Don't call me that out here. I would say, just knowing your role, knowing your position, your place, usually we're meant to be the bad guy. We're the ones that's meant to just rip off the band-aid. We know it's gonna hurt, but everybody else, we don't have time to, you know, beat around the bush or wherever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, things need to get done. Making those tough decisions, making the right decisions to bring everything, move it forward. But like I was saying last week too, it's all about accountability. We're held accountable from Jump Street, knowing our position, our role, playing your part, being truthful, honest, no matter how it may hurt somebody, offend somebody. If you ain't offended somebody, you ain't telling the truth. I mean, unless
If you worry about feelings, he
yeah.
said.
Now, there's a difference between being truthful and just being
A jerk.
Yeah, being a jerk, being straight up hurtful. But yeah.
All right. Well, Daniel,
What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna be deep, and I'm gonna read what the dictionary says. So,
Who?
Oxford
Who
Dictionary.
is he saved?
Don't know.
Gotcha.
Masculinity, and I'm gonna do a simple one, and then I'm gonna do one that's a little bit more in depth. So, masculinity is qualities or attributes regarded as characteristic of men and boys. Now, when you hear that, does it seem? Do you think that not necessarily is it is correct, but do you think that is that necessarily fair?
Yeah, it's fair.
I don't think the boy aspect of it, because it's a maturity thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you put yourself in a boy or girl category, you're also throwing yourself under the umbrella of a child,
True.
which that's your mistake realm. That's for you, your trial and error realm. I say you don't have trial and errors when you become a man or a woman, but there's a deeper sense of maturity, or how some people say maturity, of things.
Gotcha. Ooh, now this is from NDI.org, National Democratic Institute. Says masculinity equals a social expectation of being a man. The term masculinity refers to the roles, behaviors, and attributes that are considered appropriate for boys and men in a given society. Masculinity is constructed and defined socially, historically, politically, rather than being biologically driven. Let's sit there and talk about that for a
Yeah,
second.
that was meaty there.
Let's
That
sit
was
there
more
and
than
talk.
half. That was more
Let's
than
sit there and talk about that one for a second. So, one, pretty much what they're saying is that masculinity is total, whatever masculinity means or equals is totally specifically adjacent to the social expectations being put on you of what being a man is. Now, the thing about that is that mean that masculinity is technically it's specifically subjected to the society in which you live in.
Yeah.
But in America, as long as I know, how if that's the case, then masculinity is about being the dude that does everything, make this money. He talk to females how you want to talk to them. He the boss, or as a rapper once said, the man out of Dallas better ask Khaled.
Special.
So, but what do you think about that phrase that masculinity is the social expectations of being a man?
Me personally, it's just a title, honestly. Like, cause we could look at through all through history, like men has always been the main objective about everything. Presidents, you could look at that, all males, not one female. A provider, like every woman wants a man that's a provider. Like you could,
I
it's just
hear
dated
you,
back
but
into.
I'm talking about social expectations.
It's just a title. That's just it. It's just
I,
a title to me.
I'm gonna say, a couple hundred years ago, the social what was going around the water cooler or the watering hole or the well was Earth was center of the universe. If he said otherwise, he was dead. That was the social status. That was the main focus. Anything outside of that is different. I'm not gonna let what society deems as this is the right way because they have a lot of evidence stacked up against them that they're wrong. Because there's a lot of things that are clearly not working out. But I'm not gonna listen to somebody who clearly is ignorant, who clearly doesn't know anything, who doesn't, at least on a scientific note, create your hypothesis, get your evidence together, your primary sources, your secondary sources, your third party outside source, make sure that everything is together, cohesive, and base it off of that. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, scratch it, move on to the next thing. But
all right,
society's slow right now.
Maybe I'm asking the wrong question.
Maybe you is.
The question I guess the test I'm really trying to ask is, what do you think are the social expectations of a man?
The social expectations for a man is right now, from what I be seeing out there,
I'm saying
is
in a
that
very general way. I don't want to pinpoint nothing yet because we're gonna talk about history and politics about it. So I'm saying
right now, I feel like it's always been the same. The man is supposed to shut up about their feelings. They're supposed to throw out their wallet, pay for everything. They don't have a right to speak because anything that they're going through is not valid compared to other people's eyes. And they're just supposed to give even when they're on empty.
Give even when they on empty. Dave?
Just piggybacking off of what Josh said, like you gotta have like a certain amount of income, a 9 to 5. Actually, no, I can't even say a 9 to 5 anymore. I'll probably say like your income got to be over 200K. Got to have 3 houses or 3 businesses, like 5 different cars. That's just today's aspect of how men are being portrayed as. Like,
So pretty much, if he ain't balling, he ain't doing it.
basically,
That's how society feel about us. Society feel that if you ain't balling, you ain't being masculine. That's the way of thinking about it. That's the way of thinking about it. I'll just speak about it socially, just in a very generic way. I definitely agree that with John and both of y'all, like to have money to use, to not be in your feelings ever, to not have feelings ever, and to act like a man in the sense that when you do something, just like how bad parents would be like, oh, that's just what boys do. Yeah, boy, boys, they fighting, they cussing, that's just what boys do. You know what I mean? Like that is how they see it in society. They see it as they see it not so much as you in a life, definitely as a lifestyle, but not the lifestyle for you, lifestyle for somebody else based on what they feel that you should be doing. Something to think about.
I don't know. Society right now, they're all a bunch of NPCs anyway. So,
because said masculinity refers to the roles, behaviors, and attributes that are considered appropriate for boys. Now, the word appropriate means that you don't have a choice. It's like saying you don't get to make up your rules for what that is for you. We already set stuff in motion of what it should be. And people aren't Pokemon. You can't train them. You can't train them to have specific attributes. I feel like having that mindset of, well, if you aren't this or you aren't that, if you can't pick up this couch and move it up these stairs, or like if you can't
If you
afford these
can't build
J's,
anything, like if you don't know
you
how
know
to
what I
build something
mean?
with your own two hands, then really, what are you?
You know, shoot, if you can't build a house, if you can't, till some land, you're not a man.
Well, and that's the thing. According to standards, or at least what things have been depicted, technically, if you want to base it off of that, there's not a lot of
Men out here.
men out here, because according to that, yeah, everybody needs to be a handyman. Everybody needs to be MacGyver.
Right.
Everybody, needs to be able to fix whatever problem that there is, solve it, have a solution, ingenuity, creativity like a mug, and just to get things done.
Mm.
And you don't have that a lot right now.
Yeah.
It's being a man right now is, just like this all day, and like, okay, so today we're gonna make waffles, guys. It's like, oh, I love that guy. Like he's such a great man. Like
True.
he just opened up a frozen box of Egos and put
them
them
in
on there. Like, what's manly about that? So it keeps shifting. But if you want to go based on that standards of what a man is, they really ain't.
What a girl wants,
Don't even
what a
start
girl
that.
needs, whatever makes you happy.
And that is the end of today's show.
Stop it. All right, now we can talk about how masculinity has changed and evolved over time. Like you said earlier, at one point, being masculine was being big, strong. He could kill a man
With his
bare hands. He cut his own firewood. He built a house and he built a boat. And you know what I mean? He built his own fishing line.
Right.
And he
Nothing
took
but-
grass.
Nothing but Chuck Norris jokes.
You know what I'm saying? Pretty much Chuck Norris jokes, whatever you can say, Chuck Norris. So that Chuck Norris did, that's pretty much what a man
He don't
was
do
at one
push-ups, he
point.
do earth downs.
Right.
Like-
You know what I mean? Like he had a beard, he wore he wore overalls, and he could provide for his family. His wealth wasn't in money back then. It was in land, livestock. It was in crop. Then I feel like we evolved into we really got really serious about social status.
Mhm.
And then it wasn't about, because then it still was about the same things, but it was about in a different way. Because now, as a novel, I just own a lot of land. Might not know how to work any of it,
Yeah.
but I own all of this. So then it became about what you owned. Like how in England, I think they have a whole thing about how, yeah, it's a parliamentary democracy, but technically the royal family owns all the land still.
Mhm.
You do.
You can't even kill a swan because the royal family owns all the swans. So like, then we get into that because now it's about ownership. It's about what I have control over. And then we evolved even further because now everybody can't own everything. So now it's about, okay, so since everybody can't own everything, let's make it about how much money you got. What can you do with that money? Can you flip it? Can you do this? Can you do that? And that put us in a wormhole, in like a tunnel, where now if you ain't making money, you ain't about nothing. And like you said earlier, if you ain't making a certain amount of money, well, now I don't see you as a man because you ain't getting to this bag, my guy. What do y'all think about that? The evolution of masculinity over time.
Over time, it changed dramatically. In my eyes, it changed dramatically. Like you could blame social media about this,
Mm-hmm.
but like, dang, how can I go about this? It's just like you could blame social media to an extent, but can you really blame everything else that's going on? Meaning that like how things evolved, Like some people just get lazy and not just actually go out and actually look for something to do. Like they just sit on the couch, watch TV all day, but then they could be homeless in the next few months. Like you're not socially, but you're not mentally prepared for that status to be put on you. Like, you know what? This guy is just this, but he won't do this. Like you have the possibility to do this, but you're just wasting your time on doing something that you know that you can do. That's just me personally. Like I just blame social media to an extent.
You blame social media for the change of how masculinity is seen. I
Yeah.
get. We can talk about that. We can talk about that, Johnny.
There's a lot of things that I blame. I blame the government. I blame the round table, people in position to actually make change and have things go a certain way, because we live in this stupid society of capitalism where everything is literally for sale, which is sad.
Your hopes, your dreams, your
I
honor.
blame past
Sure.
generations not upholding certain standards as, family values, morals, and the know-how of doing things. I blame I mean, there's a lot that, and then I also blame ourselves as well, because we see the problem, but if we don't do anything about it, we also become the problem. We need to be the solution.
Mm.
And party of one, it's very hard to do things. It's a lot, but the power of one is it's powerful, because it rubs off easily. But shoot, I could go back to, as far back as like the New Deal with, FDR signing everything over, to where that's when people started actually getting, social security cards, and everybody started, actually being numbered, and you had to turn in all your gold and all your wealth, and
Mhm.
you got back little bank statements that was really absolutely nothing. So you traded in all your actual wealth that you worked up to, in hopes of this new prosperous deal that actually bit you, on the back end. And then, they throw little, we're like babies, and they just take keys and throw stuff in your face to distract you. Oh, here comes another war. Focus on that. Oh, here's, the latest polls are going on this, focus on that. There's so much stuff that's happening on right now that, we're not really paying attention to, that distracts us and keeps us in our role, in our position of doing what we need to do. And in a sense, it's brainwashing us, it's demasculating us, defeminizing us. It's putting us all in one certain bubble, to where when I make this command, y'all gonna move.
Mm.
So ain't no one standing on their 10 toes. Yeah.
I see on my 10 toes.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 toes.
Yeah,
Down,
10
up,
toes.
sliding,
Toes.
whatever you're doing. It's toes.
Yo, shut up.
The toes, what they
We're
toes.
gonna boogaloo out here.
We're gonna boogaloo out here. Right.
You?
Ooh.
What you got?
Okay. Like I said earlier, I feel like, the changes all came with it just came with the time, and it came with, I think the biggest thing is probably is the demand. At one point, the demand for a man to be able to do stuff with his hands was high. So that's what was there. Um, Comedian would say, women are the people that push time forward because it's about what she want. At one point she wanted land, she wanted all this and she wanted that. So that's what a man was. And then, now you want this and now you want status. And so he was like, men fought for that. And then there was, now I want this money. And so now we fight for the money. Who knows what the next thing is gonna be. That pushes us to change whatever masculinity is. That it says that, it's not a biological thing, which is weird because growing up, when you was told, what a man is, you know, it was a man can take care of himself. A man don't, he don't need other people. A man, um, can take care of his family and things like that, you know. And now that in times, you know, those things are still relevant, I feel. But a couple of those things kind of changed a little bit because now it's like, because of how it is, like Dave said with social media and all that, you know, people can be like, well, you're not a man, you don't take care of the kids or whatever. And then sometimes, but then the argument be like, but you asked a man who told you he didn't want to take care of the kids to have kids, and he told you that from jump, and then y'all do it, and then you have it, and then you are surprised that he ain't step up. I find that to be confusing to me. Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
find that to be confusing to me. But I want to move on to the next thing.
all right.
But we're gonna do that after these commercials. So we'll see ya. And when we see ya, because we're gonna see ya in a second. Once I get this stuff to work, I got you.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dante Miles, aka D Belly, aka your city councilman. I'm here at Fire 716 Radio, and I'm asking you to tune in on Thursdays at 11 on our show, The Vault. We're going to be having some conversations that's super relevant, but very important. And sometimes it may be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to make sure that we get our voices out. Come tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and make sure you download the Fire 716 app. See you then.
This is DMP Speaks coming to you. I am a board certified Christian counselor. I'm also a life coach. I am a family restoration specialist. I help build, rebuild, and grow your family. Maybe you're having some communication problems. Maybe you guys are just yelling and screaming and you guys are just not getting along. And if you want access to me for your 30-minute consultation call, follow me on all my social media platforms. TikTok, Facebook at DMP Speaks. And if you go to YouTube and Instagram, it's at I am DMP Speaks. Download Fire 716 and click the link.
What up? This your boy Dan the Dark Knight here once again with my boy
Knuckles
and my boy
And Dave.
And today we are talking about masculinity and all those things that masculinity brings.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're moving on to the next thing, and we're gonna talk about the difference between healthy and toxic masculinity. So first we're gonna go for the thing that I think is gonna take the least amount of talk. We're gonna talk about healthy
which is
masculinity.
sad. That is sad. That is so sad.
It is sad. It is sad, and you know, it's something that we got to change as a people. You know what I mean?
Today's times, it's not the norm no more.
Right.
It's very odd. Like,
right.
There was it was funny because the one day, you know, I'm with my cousins, and shout out to Lexi. We miss you.
We miss you.
Yeah, I'm chilling with my cousins and stuff like that, and you know, I'm a gentleman at heart, so I'm a firm believer that no girl should ever touch a door. So we going somewhere, I'll be the one to catch all the germs from this door handle. Don't you sit there and touch that. Go ahead, yeah, and you know, make sure that everybody's comfortable. Out of this, out of that, very polite. You know, just whatever the case may be. Today's women, they're not used to it. They're used to the toxic aspect of things. So they take that as flirting. Mm-hmm. So then, you know, I just find it, you know, just funny because, you know, it was a situation where, you know, I got pulled to the side and it was like, yo, so-and-so thinks that they like you because you're being nice. I'm like, no. Like, yeah, you know, had a great chuckle about it. like, and, you know, they had to let them know, like, no, that's just how he is. That's just him. He's just being normal.
Right.
You'll know when he starts flirting with you. He's extremely direct, but that's just being normal. And that's the thing, you know, you open the door for somebody like, thirsty much? Like, no, go first.
Just being polite.
Yeah, just being polite here.
Well, that's a golden rule.
Or as my man Dave would say, I'm just trying to look at your booty, so don't worry about
it. Nah, I told you that in confidence. You gotta glad that.
Stop. So I asked the internet because this is what we do now because you got the power of other people's opinions at your fingertip. And
what they talking about?
the internet says that there are 4 pillars of healthy masculinity: strength, courage, skill, and honor. Those are the 4 pillars. Now think about.
I ain't hear integrity in there.
No, just honor. So
I feel honor could go both ways, honestly, healthy and toxic, honestly.
yeah, I guess, but I don't know. But so
there's a line.
I'm gonna start it off
there.
this one. I know
Lord,
I
preach.
usually let other people talk, but me. I can agree, but it depends on the context of the things. Like a man does not need being healthily masculine does not mean that you have to be strong physically, but it is very important for you to have control
Yeah.
over your emotional and mental state. You can't be going off on a handle over every little thing that happened. You can't you can't be getting you got to be able to deal with negative things that happen around you and stuff like that. You can't just be so quick to just pop off. Now sometimes I feel like that's extremely unfair because everybody else get to be as emotional as they want to be.
Yeah.
But to be healthy and masculine, you can't let people know how you feel all the time. And I think that's very unfair. Another thing, second thing, courage. I can agree with courage all the way around because you can be courageous as in not being scared of stuff, and then be courageous in the sense that you won't allow yourself to be controlled. Everybody not gonna be Indiana Jones, brave, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that don't mean that But I know a man can be very courageous. His family is in trouble. He's gonna stand in between it. Skill. It depends on whatever the skill is, because we live in a time now where every man don't have all the skills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now people get paid to have skills. So why am I gonna go down there and destroy these pipes when I could just pay
Pay expertise.
Robert to come in and fix it. So then if Robert break it, guess who's paying for it? Robert is. You know what I mean? And honor. I feel a man should have honor, but he also needs to be humble. It's one thing to be like to have honor for something and somebody, for other people in general. Like everybody gets a sliver of it. But I feel like honor is one of those things that a man can't give himself.
Right.
Somebody has to give it to him. So I don't agree with that one.
I will substitute honor with integrity.
Mm-hmm.
A man should have integrity, and even when someone, which if I'm not mistaken, definition is doing something that's right, even when no one's looking, when no one's watching. So you're always doing the right thing. You're always staying the course. You're always moving this path forward. Courage thing, and I feel like our groove set as a man and what's expected out of us, we have no choice but to be courageous, because when it comes down to our lady, when it comes down to our parents, when it comes down to our siblings, our family, our children, if anybody's going to take this bullet, it has to be me, unfortunately. Like, I have no choice but to do it. It's courageous of me to sit there and volunteer as tribute, to go ahead and do it. But in the back of everybody's mind, like, well, who's going to sit there and do it? And everybody looks at you anyway. So it's like, that's kind of, you know,
John said he would.
like we have no choice but to do it. So, but then you have people who are just very adamant about it. Like, listen, I don't care. Look, we both scared of spiders. I ain't getting it. Like, we just gonna have to move. You know, just to give you a little example of it. What was the other joint?
You got
Skill.
Skills. Yeah, skills. I believe everybody should have a skill set. You know, that's why I'm a firm believer. Like this whole going to school and having a degree, and you literally have all the book knowledge on how to do something, but you don't have no experience on how to do anything. If I ever have a business, I'll take experience over a degree any day because they know how to do it. Like I said, I have a skills like I've inventoried $402 million worth of stuff for the government. And extremely great at it. I had a 98.97% accuracy rate. And the only reason why I wasn't at 100 is because I ended up leaving the military. But I could sit there and say that looks great on a resume, but what they're looking for is the degree. I know how to do it. I know how to get everything done, but that's not what they're pushing right now. And, it's sad that, we'll have more skill sets if they brought trading back into school. Back then you could sit there, you could take welding class, shop class.
You could take those in high school.
Auto shop and all that stuff. You come out of high school as a mechanic, as a welder, as a carpenter. You had all these skill sets, but they don't want you to have your own because, like I said, there's a lot of things against us to try to either defeminitize us and demasculate us to put us all in one little section. Like I said, when that command goes out, they want you to move. But if they know for a fact that you could do this on your own, that we don't need you, we don't need your assistance, it scares them because now the bag is gone.
Right.
They're losing out on that money. So I think it's extremely important to get a skill, find a skill, because at the end of the day, when everything hits the fan, the person who's going to get that bag is the one with the skill. They're going to come to you. And then the first one was
I know it was courage, honor, skill,
strength. Yes, strength. It's everybody should have strength. Physical strength, yes, but don't flaunt it to the point where you're like, I could beat everybody up in the room. I'm thrashing anybody. They look at me anyway. Have enough strength to where you could defend yourself and keep your own protected. It's nothing to
whatever
be
that level
about.
Of strength is for you.
Yeah, whatever power level that is for you. Mine's over 9,000.
I was about to say that.
Mine's over 9,000. But yeah, we need to have emotional strength. We need a mental strength, and it's important to have that guy fellowship because it's the only time where we could be really vulnerable with one another. Man, I'm going through this. I'm going through that. You're not going to have any judgment. There's not going to be a man, pull your panties up, bro. Like, we don't get all that. We get that from the women, unfortunately. We don't get the support that we need because we know what we go through. We know that at the end of the day, society, like we can't sit there and just, I'm having a really bad day. I'm really down, out of this, out of that. We have to shut up. We gotta keep it together. We're the ones that have to be calm all the time, and that's extremely stressful.
And I'm gonna come back to that, Dave. You gotta comment, Dave, about those 4 things that make you healthy.
All right, this is what I got about for courage. To piggyback off of what you had said, Josh. Courage to me is just having the willpower to actually to go through about almost anything in life. Like whatever you're dealt with, it could be a good or a bad thing. Like you have that willpower to actually to keep pushing forward. Like you're not going to let that to still hold you back or feel like it's a heavy burden on your shoulders. Like that's what courage means to me. Like you just have a willpower to keep pushing forward and just take what life gives you and not just make a negative thing about it. Now for honor, I feel like everyone, almost at least 50% of people are prideful about anything in life, goals, ambitions, work, or whatever it is. Like I feel like that's what honor means to me. It's just pride in another sense.
Okay.
But dang, how can I go about it? Like honor is just, yeah, it's just pride. Now skill, both of you guys have said you got to have the experience to actually do something. Like how what Josh I said, like you need in today's era, like you need a degree in order to actually to better yourself or your lifestyle.
Mhm.
And also you said about the educational thing. Now you can go to school for carpenting, like how McKinley is, for example, or Hush Tech.
Well, that's how
You
they used to
could
be.
go
I
to
don't know they do that anymore.
Yeah. I think they got rid of a lot of
okay, well
stuff.
back then, like you could go
Back in my day.
That was before my day.
but
Definitely
back
was.
then you could actually learn those things
Mhm.
and actually get a degree for it.
Yep.
Now you always got to ask yourself, is it going to actually help you get the job that you really want to do, or are you just taking that class just to take that class to actually graduate? That's just the thing. Like it's also a criteria thing that they label now.
Yeah, but I think that's where it become kind of unfair at, because before, we was learning stuff to learn it so we know it, and now it's like, well, only want to learn things if it's relevant for me to learn it to do this next thing now.
Yeah, like I learned how to sew in school.
I learned that in home ec.
Yeah,
Eighth
home
grade.
ec.
And see, I
And I learned how to-
didn't get home ec class when I was
Yeah.
in school.
I sewed a pillow and I made stir fry. We out here.
Bro, we
Yeah,
had-
I do
we
know
had-
how to
we had
sew. I do know how to sew
Thanksgiving
pillows.
dinner.
I
We out
learned
here.
I know how to do that at work. Now, the thing I want to get out the healthy masculinity thing is that I feel like it's unfair. And it's unfair to me because these are all things based off of stipulation. I only have strength if I am quiet and I suffer in silence. I only have courage if I ready to give my life up. Like I said before, honor is something I don't think you can necessarily have for yourself. So it has to be, someone has to give it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a bit unfair for men. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. I could be wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but it's give and take too. Like I said, it's the roles. That unfortunately that's our role. We gotta take the brunt. Just like, women's roles. They're here to multiply. Whatever we give them, they multiply.
Mhm.
And I was watching a video and he was sitting there saying, just like with whenever, I don't know if we could talk about, health,
you can just see your show.
the male and female contract that they make. But whenever that happens, we give them, a cell. They take that cell and they multiply it into something that we can never do.
Mhm.
That's what their role is. Whatever we give them, they take it beyond anything that we could dream of or ask for. That's why we're such a great balance. We're here to sit there and take the brunt of everything, so that way they have just free range and no obstacles to multiply and get things moving forward.
Well, but that also depends if that's the kind of woman that you with or if you're not. That is
there ain't a lot of those out here.
That is
So
a whole other conversation. I might have to talk about that one next week when Lexi
might
here.
have to.
And then to end this off, I want to talk real fast about a thing that I thought was going to be, it's going to make those time, is toxic masculinity. And what do you think that is? Because I feel that toxic masculinity is only, like, whatever they say it is, I don't believe it. At the end of the day, I feel like toxic masculinity is when a man is being assertive and people don't like it. So then they coin it as it being toxic. Now, I do feel like certain things about how masculinity was at one point, I won't call it toxic. I'll say it was misguided. It was wrong.
Structured. No.
Right. But that's also because of the structure of the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Back then, a woman talked to you crazy, you smacked her. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, stay in your place. You know what I mean? I don't feel that you should hit a woman. nowadays, and you shouldn't hit a woman before then, but that's how it was before.
But when it happened, she made your steak right. No,
You know what I mean? Like, you know,
these are just jokes.
you know, to be masculine, I think is not that is a negative thing now. You know, is have a lot of women to be able to like you could back then the man could step out on his wife and it'd be like, well, sure, I did what I did. You know what I mean? But you stuck here and you just got to deal with it. You know what I mean? And those kind of things. But nowadays, everybody coin everything is toxic. You know, if I feel good about myself and I show it a lot,
You're toxic.
I'm
bro.
toxic now.
Bro, you're toxic.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If I like anime, I'm toxic. You know what I mean?
No, I mean that's just a fact. But go ahead.
Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, if all I do is joke, yo, you mad toxic, bro. Like, you don't take nothing serious. You know what I mean? And it's just like we are perpetuating something that isn't really a thing.
Yeah.
When we talk about toxic masculinity, like, oh my God, y'all so toxic. Oh my God. You know, and it's just like, it's not that it's necessarily toxic. You just don't like how it's coming off. You don't like how it is. This could just be how he is. This is reality. Now, if a man is holding negative traits, then just call it out as a negative trait. Like, yo, what you doing right here?
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But to put it under that toxic umbrella is putting it with a whole lot of things that aren't necessarily toxic. It's just that in certain places, at certain times, in certain moments, which could be any time, any moment, somebody didn't like it,
Mm-hmm.
and people came together and was like, "That's toxic."
Yeah.
Agreed.
There's it's a lot there. I don't know, toxic traits as far as masculinity. One, just because you were born a male, don't mean that you're just
Entitled to the world, the gift of God.
no. You're just
God's gift.
no, not that. You're not just spewing out masculinity.
Mhm.
You know, I would say toxic traits as far as when it comes to stuff like that is just stepping out of boundaries.
Mm.
You know, you got a wife at home, you got a family at home, but you out here thrashing the streets.
That'd be your best.
And then it's I'm just a dog at nature. No, you're a man at nature.
Right.
That's what sets you above the other creatures.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to lower yourself to this to give you that excuse of, well, it's just me. No, it's not. But then we pick up these bad habits, these unhealthy traits from outside influences, people who have our ears, people that we look up to,
People with more money than us.
yeah, and we'll sit there and be like, okay, I probably should add that into my repertoire. I should probably put this in my my belt and start working towards that. And as a lot of people ain't getting checked for it.
True, but that's it. See, that's it.
But then when you start checking people, then that's when it gets to the toxic.
Now
thing.
you're toxic for checking them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like, no, I'm. There's nothing wrong with correction. If I correct you, that means I love you, because I want you to succeed. I want you to move forward. I want you to grow. But if I just let it go and just be like, hey, that's just who he is.
Right.
I'm not helping you out.
Right. That's how I feel about, when Trump was doing all that wild stuff and nobody was like, oh, that's terrible. Nah, y'all was chilling with it. Man, female, whatever else you want to call yourself, y'all was just like, oh, so what? It's okay if he did that or you did that. Like, bro, my man wholeheartedly on camera just said he's
Going crazy.
I'm just saying.
Going
No,
crazy.
I'm just saying.
Don't
Just in the
get
general
me
sense,
started.
for any dude, you know what I mean? Just like I grab everybody pussy, and y'all always was like, "All right, cool." But that was the thing you should have said. Yo, man, that's toxic. But y'all didn't. Y'all just let it go. You know what I mean? That's why I said, it's such a stipulatory thing. I feel like it's wrong. To necessarily coin everything as toxic just because you don't like it. Because then the things that you're okay with, that are negative things, you let it go.
Or that's extremely toxic. It's
Right.
perfectly fine.
You let it go.
Right.
What about you, Dave?
Oh man, Man, where do I begin?
That's the thing. It's like
In the beginning, God created.
But no, me, toxic masculinity is just like what you guys both said, and I could agree wholeheartedly. Like some men will see like people that you see on TV, people that surround your neighborhood, or even people that you actually looked up to. Like you'll take what they do, and you would try and mimic what they do,
mhm.
but like it's not really a good thing to do, really, because like, dang man, it's too much. Like you could walk past a girl, like just look at her, like she'll just probably cuss you out for no for no reason.
But she
Like,
not
oh, like
toxic.
what you looking at?
I'm
Like, bro,
toxic.
ma'am, I'm just looking at you just to tell you like you look beautiful today. Like females just take it as a negative thought. Now, dang, I don't even know how to finish that. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, on that part, I'm gonna say we need to boycott these women and telling them that they beautiful. Hear me out though. And the rest of the animal
Just like we
kingdom,
boycotting sows.
right? And the rest of the animal kingdom, the most attractive is what? The
Man,
male.
Yeah.
The male lion. They always talk about the mate. The
peacock.
peacock got all the feathers. We the ones who attract them.
Right.
It should be flipped. They need to start catcalling us. They need to
Sometimes.
start like, dang, you looking good, bro. Yeah, shit, you know, I had to do a little sun step out here, real quick, But I digress.
Hype me. It's what my man said. He said, hype me. You know what I mean? Well, love to get more and more into this, y'all, but we're reaching the end of it. Shoot, we're gonna end it how we always end it, you know what I mean? What y'all boys listening to?
Oh man.
Talk to them, Johnny.
Once again, John Coltrane. The song is Like Sunny. Fire.
Heard my man.
Yep.
Cop it.
Cop it now.
Dave.
Me it's two people. It's still Kendrick Lamar,
Kenny.
his old albums.
Okay.
I feel like they held a meaning. I mean, when doesn't Kendrick and Lamar songs ever have a meaning to it?
Right.
And my next one, I'm not gonna lie, it was actually the last song I actually really listened to. It was Linkin Park. I'm not gonna lie, it was Linkin Park.
Okay. Right on.
We always there.
Like, I don't have
at
a
one
preference of
point. We always there.
like a favorite genre of music.
on.
Like if it sounds good, hey, I'm
Shit,
gonna
I was
listen
just
to it.
talking about Blink 182 earlier.
Black people love Linkin Park, so.
Like, what about you, Dan? What you been listening to,
Black
bro?
people love Linkin Park. They be like, ooh, Linkin Park.
I already know what Dan been listening to.
Same here.
My playlist. That's all he does. He just bite out here. No,
Yeah. Funny.
I know. Pay up.
Not joking.
When they hear something. And you know what? Just for that, I'm about to flip the switch. So, other than my Discover Weekly, which I am about halfway through,
Slacking.
honestly, what have I been listening to? You know what I've been listening to? I'm listening to Disney songs all week.
Ain't no
Yeah, I
shame
pray
in
for
that.
my man. He turned to the dark side.
Cause
No.
my daughter, she ain't never seen Pocahontas. I'm like, nigga, what?
What?
Right.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And she had a good reason for not. She was like, because you learn in school that Pocahontas was this little kid and John Smith was this old dude, and I don't want to watch this movie and having that in my mind, like, he must have been like a 10-year-old kid. He a grown man, and it's like, heard you.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, man. But I was like, I watched Pocahontas before I knew all that. And then, so my thought process of Pocahontas, it's still that now, like, wrong. But, I want the movie, I watched it for the colors and I watched it for the songs, no more, no less.
no,
So-
I've been boycotting Disney.
Really? Since when?
98.
About 3 decades.
And counting.
Nah, it's more recent.
99 to infinity,
Eh,
y'all.
It's more recent that I stopped banging with Disney, and It's been tough because they got a lot of bangers on it,
They
but
do
they
got a lot of
own
bangers.
everything now.
They do
so
own
it's
everything.
like
True.
I can't watch this because Disney owns them now.
Dang, can't watch Blackish no more.
I never watched it.
It's okay. You was missing out.
They
Anyway,
own they own Disney owns them.
Disney on
Yeah.
ABC.
Dang.
They're
Hold on, wait.
taking
What did
over.
How I Met Your Mother come on?
NBC.
Disney don't own them, right?
No.
Okay, so that's good. That's good. we good. We good.
They ain't get that far yet.
Right.
Nah, they ain't get that far
ain't
yet.
reached that olive.
They ain't get that far yet. They got money, but they ain't get that.
got
They ain't.
NBC money.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they
They
could.
probably could.
They will have
but
to sell some stuff.
Yeah,
but
they probably get it done. You know?
it'll be
You
an unfair
never,
trade.
you never know. But this has been your boy Dan the Dark Knight with my boy Knuckles, my boy Dave. Hopefully, we popped the bubble. We reeled you in with this conversation, and we just appreciate you coming through
Yeah, appreciate
for
it.
us.
Much
Thank
appreciate
And
you.
we
you
will
guys.
see
Tune in next
y'all
week.
next week. Same time, same place. We're gonna be on time though. You
On
heard
time.
me?